Hello everybody, my name is Will and welcome back to Sprocket. Today we've got custom battles back. Now, we only have one map to pick from, but we do have weather conditions that we can go for, and we have budget constraints that we can adjust, and we can obviously fight anything we want now, such as, for instance, 18 M18 replicas. But yeah, I'm going to take it today as a bit of an opportunity. We're going to spend a little bit less time than usual on the build, but I'm going to build a tank for our fictional nation of Chisford that's a little bit more advanced than the previous thing we built, and fingers crossed we can take that thing into a custom battle and we can have a little bit of a play around and maybe talk about the way that Sprocket is developing. But I'll stop yabbering on now and we'll get to building, and soon enough, hopefully, we'll be able to show off this custom battle mode. If you want to skip to that, there will be a timestamp in the description below for you. So, yeah, this will be a slightly shorter building section than we normally have in these videos, because that's not necessarily what we're really on about today. Obviously, we're going to build a tank. We're going to build a tank for Chisford, which is my fictional country, though we won't dwell on that too much right now. If you want to know a little bit more about that country, you can see the videos that I've done on it in the past. There's one where I built a tank called the Buffalo. There's one where I built a plane, which also might have been called the Buffalo. Have I called two things Buffalo now that I think about it? Maybe I have. The video's literally called I Made a Tank for a Fictional Country. Yeah. Anyway, that's not what we're really talking about today. Today, we're talking about the fact that we've got custom battles back. This has been a long time coming, and it's finally here. For a long time, we've not had much in the way of combat flexibility in this game since the 0.2 update. So, obviously, this was all here beforehand. This was all here and is all here on the live version of the game. If you sign up for the 0.2 beta, however, you had one scenario, which was dunes. That meant you could only fight tanks that were interwar, basically. You had an Allen, you had a Hennemore, and you had a couple of... I've genuinely forgotten what they were called. They're so irrelevant to me because they're always really, really weak. But either way, those are all meant to be tanks from around interwar periods. Think cruiser tanks, basically. And that is not particularly handy as a reference point if you're building a railgun with 900,000 millimeters of penetration, for instance. Not that anyone would ever do that. That would be silly. Anyway... What we ended up with is this kind of middle ground between having scenarios and not having scenarios for a long time, and so we've been given custom battles as a bit of a, here you go, have some combat for a while we work on the rest of the scenarios, which is fair enough. We only have one map at the moment. Obviously, I expect this to kind of be changed as we go forward. I imagine we'll be kind of drip-fed maps as we go into the next coming updates. Probably one in every big update, if I had to guess, something along those lines. Obviously, I don't have any more information about these updates than you do. I could very much be wrong, but it kind of makes sense to me that as Hamish is developing the game and as Hamish is testing the game, the scenarios are probably going to be done kind of as a secondary priority whenever he's bored, and so they'll come out. It'll just maybe take a little bit of a time to actually get there. In the meantime, I don't exactly know what we're working on. Well, not what we're working on, what he's working on at the moment. But I think we're looking towards the 0.2 finally moving out of an alpha, moving into a beta, which is kind of saying that it will be feature complete, I think is the technical description of a beta, but it might not be particularly polished. And the phrase feature complete, I think in this case, will imply to a lot of people the wrong thing. People will look at that and go, oh, that means there's not going to be any more features in Sprocket, which is not the case. Sprocket is still an early access game even after 0.2 leaves its beta, but 0.2 of Sprocket will be feature complete insofar as we can then move on to 0.3 or wherever we go in the future, which will be towards the actual full release of the game. Sprocket as a game is not... Yeah, you know what I mean. And I'm just looking now, and it looks like the next few things we're getting, which will bring us into feature parity with 0.127, which is the live version, is better crew posture manipulation controls, improved freeform selection tools, which honestly they already feel improved from 127, but there you go. Saving and loading of individual parts, which is going to be incredibly nice, being able to actually take preset structures and kind of clone them without having to be direct copies. So I have these hatches all over this tank that I'm just putting on now. They, if I make a change to one, will make a change to literally all of them, which is not very convenient for most of the things that you want to do with it. And so having saving and loading will allow you to kind of create a new part that you can separately edit and do whatever you want to it. And then turret and part decoupling, which honestly, I am not entirely sure what that means. I imagine that means when you're exploded, then your bits can fall off, but that is a complete guess. But yeah, I mean, we're really developing quite quickly at the moment. I don't know why I keep saying we. I am literally not doing anything to help with the development of this game. I am just making silly little videos on it. But Hamish is developing it quite quickly, so I really didn't expect to have the stuff that we do now until like halfway through 2025, to be entirely honest, so I'm already impressed. Anything extra by the end of this year would honestly just be icing on the cake. I'm more than happy to say, Hamish, please, if you need a break, it's, you know, coming up to Christmas, just have one, you know? We've got more than enough to keep ourselves entertained over the Christmas season. I don't know. Maybe the viewers don't have the same opinion. You'll probably be able to tell from the comments section. But, yeah. Right. That's all for now. The tank is done. Enjoy, everyone, seeing this thing actually going to battle. Because, yeah, that's all for now. Okay, I mean, we set out on a mission to make a generic tank, and I believe what we've done here is we've made a generic tank. This looks pretty realistic as far as I can tell. If there's any reason that you would doubt that, then, you know, feel free to let me know in the comments, but I believe this thing kind of makes sense. We've got 5 guys in here, 3 fellas in the turret. It's a little bit cramped. I was tempted to go with a 2-man turret, but 3-man just works better in Sprocket, so yeah, I went with the 3-man. You can make a 2-man work. I didn't want to put the effort in. So we've got a 3-man turret, and we have a 47mm gun, which definitely has room for upgrading. I mean, I can just kind of crank it all the way up to, I mean, that's clipping, but we've got 15 degrees of gun depression in here. But yeah, there's room for improvement in this turret, in the sense of putting in a bigger gun and replacing it with something like a 75mm gun as the conflict progresses or whatever. But let's give it a quick test on this map, and then we can take it through to our custom battle, and we can pitch it up against some things and see what we need to do to it to make it better. Okay, so we've got a fairly decent turret traverse, and the gun handling isn't bad either, so we should be okay, especially on a map like June's. One problem with this thing is that while we're not particularly slow, we're not particularly quick either, so this is very much an early war tank, you know. We get up a little bit of speed once we really get moving, but acceleration and definitely turn times are not so great. We have a clutch steering in here as well, which isn't the best of things. We're on fire and we're absolutely boned. Looks like the AI have absolutely thrashed us here, to be entirely honest. But yeah, that's fine. We also just honestly don't have the best armor ever. It's about 80mm. There seems to be a gap here. I've not armored this machine gun port. That's fine. But it should work. We're going to take it up to June's and we'll see what we can beat, shall we? Okay, so this is the last tank we designed for Chisford, and I've just made sure that everything's kind of playing ball in this slightly older version. And you can see that we have a 42mm gun. What I might do is I might just take this 42 that we have in our C2 here, and I might just try it. Well, it's currently a 47. I might make it a 42 and just make it a slightly beefier version of that 42mm gun. I think it makes a little bit more sense in the sense that the country would use the same gun just upgraded. So that's going to be the gun that we roll with here, but we're going to see if this newer tank can defeat that older tank. That's the game plan here. So we got 5 of these versus flat 5 of them, and if it goes well, we'll increase the enemy count. Okay, so we're here on Dunes. We've got our tank. We're going up against an equal number of the older C1 Buffalo, and I think we should definitely be okay. I'm really quite happy with how this thing looks once it's actually in like a formation. Alone, it's a little bit of a weird looking tank, but I don't think it looks weird in the sense that I've done a bad job building it. I think it just looks weird, but in a kind of real looking way. I don't know. I like it. It's just a little bit, it gives the vibes of like the early Japanese tanks, you know, like the Aigo Ko. Things that were designed when people didn't really know what tanks were going to be. Okay, right. Let's try our best here to get these guys out of this. We've got the first shot. It's not gone well. And the second one, I mean, it's gone through, but it's not killed them. Let's try... Okay, I don't think we can quite go through those side panels plus their side armor, which is a little bit concerning given that this is an up-gunned version of the 42mm gun. I really thought we wouldn't struggle, but maybe the front of the mantler is a different story. It doesn't seem to be. They're also struggling to penetrate me, which is the good part. Maybe the cheeks are the way forward? No? There's not a lot really going through at the moment. Oh, no. That did it. I think that's killed the gunner. If we try and take out the driver as well, that looks like it. Ooh, done it. Go for the cheeks again if we can. We know that works. We've lost someone. It is the guy who does the laying drive. That's the gunner. That's not good. This tank is definitely out of the battle, but he's distracting these guys still because he is still moving. That's going to be a mission kill, and he's burning, so he should be out. We have that one over there still left to kill. Once again, if we go for the cheeks, that was a good shot. Looks like he's out for the count in terms of being able to shoot back. Is there any of them still firing? No, we have one. Okay, it's not as much of an improvement as I was expecting on the previous tank. Obviously, we've lost, I think, just the one that I was playing. So it's definitely better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add more of these buffaloes and see what we can do with that. Maybe 8 versus 4 will do. Okay, we are now up against superior numbers of tanks. There's 4 of us and 8 of them. So the chances of us winning this are a little bit lower. If we can do it, then the tank is good, right? That's how it works. So, oh, that's not a good start. It looks like we've already lost 2 of our... all 3 of our allied tanks, maybe? That one did have some smoke coming out of it, but seems to be okay now. I think we're gonna have to try a bit of an ambush here, because that is definitely not good for us. They don't know where we are, is our one benefit at the moment, because the AI can't see through walls, which they kind of used to be able to do. What I think we're going to have to do is push really wide out here and try and get behind them, which is not exactly showing off that we've built a better tank, but it you know, I want to win. I want to win anyway. Okay, we're going to see the first of the buffaloes here, and that is a good shot. I think that's probably taken out someone in the turret, and that should be one of them taken out of the battle. We can do that again with this second tank. That would be great. I think that's also gone through. We're looking good so far. That's an engine kill. Once again, we've got the same kind of turret angle that's not gone through this time. Can we get the cheek shot? No, we can't. Okay. That's 2 down, and we've lost our stealth advantage. So that's 6 tanks to kill who know where I am. That's not ideal. Not ideal at all. We do have an ally still shooting, though, which means that a couple of them might be distracted. And we can use that to our advantage here to pick off these ones at the back that are kind of straggling. You're probably the easier kill, but you're also shooting back, which is bad. That looks like a kill straight through the cheek. He's still moving. Let's see. There we go. We can take out his engine. And our ally is... I really, really thought he was out, but no, he's moving and everything. Looks like he's still fully in it. This guy, right through the back of the turret, definitely a kill. I think we got his ammo as well. That one, easy kill as well. That's not worked, actually. That has. There we go. Okay. 2 of our 4 tanks survived. 8 of theirs were killed. I think that counts. I think that counts as a good win for this tank. So it should. Yep, that's better. That's a better tank right there. And here is a serious challenge. So we've got 4 of our tanks as before, but this time we're going up against 4 of the armored car. This thing is much more advanced. I built this a little while ago. I think it's got a 57mm rapid fire gun, but it is kind of late war design, so it should absolutely smash us. However, you never know. We might be able to pull something out of the bag, so let's see what we can do. Okay, I see one of them over there, and it's getting a little bit uncomfortably close. I was hoping to get around them a little bit, because the front armor on those turrets is actually surprisingly good, even though they are an armored car. And it's looking like a bit of a standoff between the AI and my allies here, so I'm gonna have to be the one that makes the first move. This guy had no idea I was here. That's not killed him, though. Please kill him. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Maybe, have we taken out... Can he fire? Maybe that tank doesn't work? Maybe it does? I don't know. I feel like I should be dead. Hang on, let me crest the hill and see if he can actually fire. This is probably suicide here. Hi, bud. Can you shoot? Oh, yes, he can. He can. Okay. I don't know how he missed, but last time was legitimate. He did actually die. We didn't cheat. Where are the other 2 then? Okay, there's one there, and he's just blown up one of my allies. These 2 should be dead, and the 4th one is unaccounted for. Ominous! But not the end of the world. We should be able to take this guy out with that kind of a shot. I mean, that looks like it's gone through. I think that's him done for. Where's the last one? I'm seeing smoke, so I'm guessing he's rushed around and killed one of my allies over here. Okay, I see him, and I also see my ally, who he's definitely killed. We do have the gun depression to poke over this hill and get him, though, which could end very badly for me, which it's not a good start. It's not a good continuation. We have another one where that came from. We're going to have to be a little bit more careful, because that 57 is pretty brutal. Right, that is the destroyed tank we saw, which means that the car should be about here in theory. And that is a little bit disconcerting that I can't see him. There he is. Right. Come on, you. Yeah. Has that got him? Maybe? What about that? No? What about this? I gotta say, the graphic for getting a penetration on a shell is vastly improved. I really like how it has the bright particle effects, and then they slowly fade away as the heat dies down from the penetration and just turns into a normal shell hole. That is really, really nice, actually. This guy, that one's definitely still alive. He's trying to avoid me. That's not going to work, bucko. There we go. It took nearly 8 minutes, but we've won. And what? Okay, that's frankly just rude. I was about to have like a nice cinematic where I could show off the tank, but now it's burning. So there you go. There's our tank. If you like this one, please leave a like, comment, and or subscribe, and tell me what you'd like to see next. You can join my Discord in the description below if you want to leave any suggestions for what I want to build. Put them in the suggestions channel, or just leave them in the comment section below. That works too. I read them all. But that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. And as always, a huge thank you to my YouTube super supporters, Yoki, Paloma, Marlon Gwekin, Cruiser25, Cody Fox, Peter Holmes, Peter Seafit, CamJam135, Stug3, and Terra. And a huge thank you to all of the regular tier supporters as well.